in Mitchell's Plain yesterday, talking to communities there about the crime situation. You would also have seen him explain that currently there is no national plan to deal with gang violence. We've also heard how there's a breakdown in trust, and gangsters are even able to infiltrate community policing forums. Francina Lucas is the national chair of the Community Policing Forum organisation, also the Western Cape chair too. Francina, a good afternoon to you. I imagine you weren't surprised to hear there's no national plan to deal with gangs. I mean, you can see that government doesn't really seem to know what to do.
Yes, good afternoon, Stephen. It is a concern to us that there's no clear plan to deal with gangsterism in South Africa. And we are very much concerned about the loss of lives in our communities, the peace that is being disturbed in our communities as well. And we really call on government to come up with a comprehensive plan to deal with the issue of gangsterism in the country.
What would the role be for community policing forums, do you think, in a plan like that? You are often the first port of call. You coordinate the relationship with the community and the police. What do you think your role should be in this?
Our role is more a preventative one, whereby we create awareness and also implement preventative programs in our community, focusing more on youth and young children. Our role is also to mobilize the community in the fight against crime. And how do we do it? Through our community safety structures, we do have volunteers that do patrols together with the South African Police Services. And through those patrols, we are also trying to show more visibility in our communities and to make our communities to feel more safe in that manner.
Do you believe that the police are actually taking this seriously enough? There are always promises from the police, Francina. I mean, you know that better than I do. Do you think that the police are actually doing what they should be doing to stop this kind of gangsterism?
I think the police are trying their best. We all know the issue of resources, the fact that there is not always enough police vehicles. We know there's a shortage of personnel, as it was also stated yesterday, that 10 years ago we had more police officers than we have today. And if you look at crime today, it's worse than it was 10 years ago. So I think they are trying their best, but they are also limited in terms of their ability to react. And that's where we also want us as community to play a more active role.
There's so much talk about the police at the moment. We know what Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi said. We know that Shadrack Sibiya has been suspended. The police minister, Senator Mkhunu, has been suspended. It looks to me like there's going to be a big sort of period of dispute among the police leadership. Do you think that could be a problem? Could that frustrate efforts? Do you think the police are going to be distracted from doing what they should be doing?
It's unfortunate that these things are happening within the service, because it also leads to communities not having that complete faith and trust in the police service. For us, what's important is for the police to be held accountable to do what they're supposed to do in terms of the Constitution of South Africa, which is to prevent, combat, and to investigate crime. And so we call on SAPS, on the leadership of SAPS, really to resolve all these issues so that the focus can remain on their core functions as mandated by the Constitution of South Africa.
This has been such a problem. It's a deep-seated problem in the Western Cape. It seems to be getting worse now. What do you think is making it worse? Is it weak policing? Is something changed in the drugs market, which often funds gangs? Has something else happened?
I think it's a lack of a collaborative approach between the different spheres of government. On one side, we have the City of Cape Town and the provincial government of the Western Cape. And for us, it feels like there's this unhealthy competition between these law enforcement agencies wanting to outshine, for a lack of a better word, of each other. but they are not really working together in the interests of us as communities. And we would like to see then that cooperation agreement that was signed in August of 2024, that it must be implemented, that there must be a sharing of these resources so that the communities ultimately can benefit from the whole of government approach.
There was a comment yesterday in Mitchell's Plain, I think it was made by the acting police minister, but it might have been someone else, who spoke about how gangsters are able to infiltrate community policing forums. And if I were a gangster, I would probably also want to infiltrate your community policing forums. How do you stop that from happening? It must be very difficult.
Look, we do have systems in place, and we always try to keep up and upgrade our systems. It's not impossible, and therefore we do have the issue of the screening and the vetting of our members, to the extent that within 7 days after the election, they should have gone through that process of screening, of fingerprints and vetting. But now what we are also trying to do in the Western Cape is to amend our constitution so that these member organizations from which the CPF elected representatives comes from, that there is a pre-screening process. So before they get elected, all members must be screened so that we can minimize the infiltration of criminals or criminal characters onto the CPF structures.
Francina Lucas, thank you very much indeed. National Chair of the Community Police Forum Organisation, also the Western Cape Chair.